Welcome back to another edition of Smackdown Out 10 right here on the Rest of the Week. Big show today. Of course, we're getting closer to WrestleMania, and Fastlane is a week on Sunday, where of course we're getting Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. So yeah, card's shaping up well. Okay, I suppose. So let's get straight into this one. Should be an interesting SmackDown. We started off with Edge saying his future match at WrestleMania was up in the air until next Sunday at Fastlane, where Daniel Bryan will face Roman Reigns. The Rated R superstar said he's out of action for a long time, but he used to perform week in, week out with legends. Edge made it clear that he was sure that he was better than Bryan in the ring when Bryan came out, and said that he could beat both of them. So an interesting start to SmackDown. I think we all know which way it's going now. Before we got the Street Profits, the Mysterios versus Alpha Academy, Rude and Ziggler. Dawkins and Rude started the match, and Dominic and Chad Gable were tagged in early on. Dominic got a near fall before he delivered a tornado DDT. Ford eventually came in from the heavens. He picked up the win on SmackDown, giving the babyfaces the win. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. To be honest, I'm not really too convinced on this storyline. I feel it's got a bit repetitive now, and I kind of just want them to move on. So yeah, but we saw Jey Uso and Paul Heyman having a chat backstage before Seth Rollins was backstage having a pop at Cesaro. So we moved on to Cesaro versus Murphy, who are now suddenly back together. The Swiss superstar hit the swing, but Seth Rollins attacked him, ending the match. The Messiah took out Cesaro as the promo went off the air. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. Yeah, not too great, if we're being honest. Backstage, Rollins came face to face with Nakamura afterwards. But anyway, next up, Kevin Owens was approached by Sami Zayn to join him on the documentary. Owens said no, before Uso and Edge had a little confrontation, before Kevin Owens was out next with Banks and Belair. It didn't last long before he moved into the Tornado tag match. Belair got in the ring, while Sasha chased Reggie around. Tamina took the opportunity to roll up Belair off the distraction to get the win. 4 out of 10. I mean, this was just crazy. What is going on with the women's division? 4 out of 10. But anyway, next up we got Sami Zayn versus Big E for the IC title. Big E cut a promo on Apollo Crews before he moved on to it. Big E got a near fall early on and sent Zayn crashing as the match began, before Sami Zayn drove Big E to the mat with a sunset flip powerbomb from the top rope, but couldn't get the win on SmackDown. Big E responded with a huge clothesline before quickly capitalising with a big ending to retain the title. I'll give this a 6 out of 10. This was a decent enough match. Before backstage on SmackDown, Reginald told Nia Jax that she should challenge for the women's title. Before we got the contract signing for Fastlane, Bryan and Reigns were both out there, and Roman said he had changed his mind. Daniel Bryan quickly signed the contract before he made Bryan sign the contract because he was furious of insulting him. Edge came out and challenged Uso to a match next week and said the winner will be the special guest enforcer. And that was it. Good way to go off. But anyway, overall this week, SmackDown gets a 5 out of 10. For me, it wasn't the best SmackDown we've ever seen. Some of the storylines just didn't really make too much sense, and especially the women's division. God knows what's going on there, because I don't know what they're doing with Banks and Belair, so that is slightly concerning. And overall, I just didn't really get too much of this show, to be honest. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave me your thoughts and comments down below, and to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channels on screen right now. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.